Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you. Well, I guess it'll be Sunday by the time that you're watching this, won't it? Happy Sunday to you. Happy Sunday, dear Wolfpack. Happy Sunday to you. Or, I don't know, maybe it's Easter. Or maybe it's some random Tuesday in July and you're watching this video and I posted it a long time ago. Who knows? Who knows? I went like in my head, I went to like real morbid. I was like, and maybe the world's over and this video is just playing on a loop somewhere out there in outer space. God. Anyway, how are you guys doing this evening? I took a little bit of a disco nap. I took like a 45-minute nap with the pups. And yeah, I'm like wide awake. I woke up and I was like, I thought I would want to go to sleep a little bit longer. And then when I got up, I was like up. I was like, I am wide awake and I am up. And I was just driving around and I was listening to all this music. I was listening to some music I had downloaded. And the Celia Cruz song that I love. And then I was listening to this Beatles song that I actually couldn't remember who sang this song. And then when I looked it up, there's like tons of people that have sang the song. You know that song, there were bells in the hills, but I never heard them ringing. But I never heard them at all till there was you. You know that song? I really do like sing all the time. I know it's people like think it's funny because I do it in my videos, like on my drama channel, but like I literally sing all the time. I grew up, my mom sang all the time. She would always brag. She'd say, well, you know I wasn't singing Hoosiers at IU, Indiana University. She's like, and it was not many people made it. There were only 100 people. So singing Hoosiers at IU was like this big choir, and it was kind of like a big deal if you made this choir. I think my mom only made it one year. But she always acted like it was like this big deal and she could sing. My mom had a pretty singing voice, but it wasn't like she belonged on Broadway or anything, although I think she thought she did. But I loved to sing when I was a kid, and I was actually, I haven't talked a whole lot about this, but I was in, I probably have once or twice at this point. I mean, every story I tell is a repeat, right? But, I think people expect me to vlog for the next 15 years and have original stories every single time I am vlogging. Okay, listen, I'm 48 years old and there's only so many stories to go around. But anyway, I loved to sing when I was a kid. And I remember my fifth grade art teacher, I did love art too, but my fifth grade choir teacher recommended me to be part of this singing group that was like all together at this junior high that I was like the two junior highs when I was like in 6th grade. I would have like always have loved to have been like part of like the Indianapolis Children's Choir or something, but that was like very serious singing. And I was more of like, I liked to sing musicals with my mom. Like, I didn't love musicals growing up, but my mom and I would sing songs from musicals together. Like, there were some musicals that I really did like. Like, I liked Annie, I liked Oklahoma, and I liked My Fair Lady. Oh my God, I used to act out the parts of My Fair Lady. I literally thought I was her. I would like have a basket, you know, and I would walk around and I would say, you know, what's that song? Lots of chocolates for me to eat. Lots of cows making lots of meat. And I used to like walk around. Okay, so in our house we had this like library. It was called the library, and it was because it was floor to ceiling bookshelves that were like built into the walls. And then we had like French doors there was 2 French doors that opened into it, and then you stepped down into the library and it was like wood floors, and then it had like these rugs everywhere and a huge limestone fireplace. And I used to sit in that, because I could close the doors and I could play the music as loud as I wanted to on the record player. I would play my records and I would sit in front of that fireplace, and I literally, I mean, this is like, yeah, I was an only child, but I was also somebody that had no friends. And so I would just play by myself all this, like, for hours, and I would put on shows and I would practice. I mean, I literally, like, really, I don't really think it was ever like a conscious decision that, like, I wanted to be on Broadway. And I don't remember my mom ever asking me, like, do you want to audition for something? Like, I don't remember her ever doing that. Although when I was, like, in 6th grade, I think, was when I was part of this young actors group, and we put on Cinderella, and I was the shoemaker. And the shoemaker actually does have lines. I told this story not too long ago in here. The shoemaker, because my dad still jokes about it to this day. The shoemaker does have lines, but it was really not about that. That was the performance that we put on at the end of, like, the season. But it was fun because it was in this old place called the Athenaeum downtown. Now they have, like, a bar in the basement there and stuff like that, and they've redone the whole place, and they do, like, cabaret and stuff there. But when I was growing up, it was just this old theater building that nobody used anymore, and it had this huge, like, dressing room. And so we would be down there, I think it was, like, on Saturday afternoons, for, like, I had, like, one friend, and he, like, that I was friends with, like, 1 year or, like, 6 months out of the year. And he, like, his mom told my mom about it or something. I don't know how, or maybe, like, I started it and we ended up writing together, and that's how we became friends. I don't really remember. But anyway, I do remember he was always nice to me through high school, but we were never friends after that. And he kind of got into a lot of theater stuff himself. He got into, like, he never did theater, like, in high school, but, like, he and his friends would, like, write plays, and then they would put them on, and they did, like, little movies and stuff like that. But anyway, he was always nice to me. I think that his family moved to, like, the other side of the town Carmel, where I grew up, and I think that's kind of, like, why we, like, stopped talking or something. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that I only had friendships when I was growing up for, like, 6 months here, 6 months there, whatever, and I never understood until I was, like, older, and then I realized, you know, that, like, it was like this. Like, somebody new would move to town, and then, like they'd be sitting next to me in class, and they'd be really nice to me for, like, 3 months, and then, like, I think I had somebody tell me this one time, like, then they would stop talking to me completely, and then it was because other kids were telling them, like, you know, he's gay, don't talk to him, and whatever. And it was as simple as that, and then I didn't. So anyway, but I did this young actors deal, and there was, like, 20 of us in it, and it ranged in ages. It was like, I mean, there were, like, some kids that were, like, 14 or 15 in it, all the way down to, like, kids that were, like, 5 years old in it. And so we would practice, and we would do, like, acting exercises, and we would, like, run monologues and stuff like that for, like, 2 hours. And then the rest of it, we would, like, practice Cinderella. And so, like, if you weren't practicing your scene, of which, like, yeah, the shoemaker was part of it, but not a huge part. The reason my dad makes fun of it to this day is because I improvised so that, like, I had this cane, like, the shoemaker had a cane. He didn't really have a cane, I don't think, in the script, but I had this wooden stick, and I tapped it across. So I was, like, really, like, look at me, you know? So my dad still, to this day, is like, you know, you were trying to steal the scene with that, tapping that, what do you call it, that cane, that walking cane that I had. But anyway, but, like, for the rest of the time when Saturdays, like, she would, like, the woman that was in charge of it, who was, like, this older, like, she was exactly what you would imagine. She was, like, this older lady that had been, like, you know, in, like, 3 shows on Broadway in, like, you know, the 50s, and she was retired in Indianapolis and had started this thing, you know, where she did acting lessons. And so she had, like, this dressing room in this place that was, like, literally, like, do you remember that movie, with Julia Roberts? Why can't I think of that movie? But the part I'm talking about is where they sing Brown Eyed Girl, and she goes in there and she tries on all the costumes. It was literally like that on those Saturdays. Like, we would try on all these costumes, and we would, you know, run around the theater, up and down the stairs, and it was fun. And it was like being in, you know, like how when you were in school, like, I was in orchestra, and so from, like, 6th grade all the way through high school. So, like, we would have, like, after school practices and concerts and things like that. And the school was, like, I remember seeing this on, Gilda Radner did this, she did this, it was called Gilda Live. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it is fantastic. It is one of the best, just really heartfelt, because there's some emotional pieces to it too, and this is one of them, but one of the most heartfelt comedic pieces, live theater I've ever seen in my entire life. And I love Gilda Radner anyway. So sad that she passed away. But so there's this one scene when it's at the very end and it's supposed to be prom, and she's like, do you remember when, like, in high school, like, you would be there, like, after the teachers were gone and the classes were over, and it was like nobody was supposed to be there, and the school had like a completely different feeling to it because it was like after hours? Like, that's how this place felt, you know? It was like, I remember, like, for orchestra concerts, when we would, like, you know, we would have like dress rehearsals or whatever, like the night before the performance, and it would be like, you know, orchestra, band, you know, jazz band. It'd be like 4 or 5 bands, orchestra, and then there would be like 4 choirs, you know, and everybody had to practice on the same night. And so when you weren't practicing, you were like, you know, like walking down the hall with your friends, like, you know, talking about, you know, just whatever. Well, my girlfriends were always talking about boys, but I didn't get to do that, you know, because I wasn't out to my friends in high school. But so yeah, I was part of that. And but I always kind of, like, when I was growing up, I always wanted to be, you know, in theater or part of theater or whatever. And I kind of, it's interesting looking back that, like, my mom never, you know, said, like, do you want to audition for this play or whatever. Indianapolis has a pretty strong community theater. Like, there's Indianapolis Repertory Theater. That's where we went and saw A Christmas Carol last year. I would have died as a kid to be part of A Christmas Carol. And the thing is that's interesting is, like, I've always, I think, had really bad social anxiety even since I was a little kid. But, like, by myself, or, like, if my mom had a group of friends over or whatever, I could put on a whole show, and, you know, and I could plan it out. I would write it out. I would do puppet shows and make them watch it and stuff like that. So I really think that I could have done that back in the day and, like, really enjoyed it. I almost kind of wonder if, in retrospect, like, that would have helped me, you know, get out of my shell a little bit. I mean, I'll never know now, right? But that would have been fun. I think my mom didn't, you know how to, like, get involved in something like that. So anyway, but, like, my 5th grade choir teacher, because I had some solos and stuff, I remember this one other girl, she and I did a solo to Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and I did what's his name's part where he goes, when I was just a lad. Anyway, and then we did another one too. It was like this song, I don't know how I remember this, but it was like Kerchunk Tweet or something like that. I don't know what that song was, but we did it together. She and I both, like, she always got the female lead or the solo, and I got the male solo. It's so funny looking back on that. I don't remember ever, like, fighting for a solo or whatever. I just remember I got the solo. So she recommended me to be part of this group by this teacher that did, like, vocal coaching too, because I remember I took, like, vocal lessons for her for like a year or something. And I don't really remember enjoying it. I remember just, like, she making me, like, I had to have, like, one piece that I was gonna, like, submit to some contest, and then I remember she'd have me, I can see, like, she lived real close to us. I can see, like, in my eyes, I can see, like, my mind's eye, I can see, like, her living room, and I would sit there, and she'd have, like, one of those, like, metal easels, you know, or whatever it's called, and then I'd have to, like, run scales. I could read music from a very young age, which I think is really interesting. Like, I was horrible at playing instruments. Like, I was really bad at violin, and I always wanted to play guitar, and I could just never pick up the chords, which is interesting because my mom could play guitar like nobody's business. I actually wondered what happened to her guitar. I'm having a Diet Coke, by the way. And then the other day, I was down in the basement, and I was like, oh, there's Mom's guitar over there. I should give it to David. He doesn't play guitar, but, you know, that would mean something to him. He likes stuff like that. It has all of her songbooks in it, like all of her Bob Dylan and Joan Baez and Simon and Garfunkel. It has all of her songbooks in it. But anyway, my mom, she also played a harpsichord. I don't know if you know what a harpsichord is, but it's kind of it looks kind of like a weird triangle kind of thing. and then you like hold it like this, and you play chords on it. Now, I think I threw that out, or I think I gave it away to somebody that wanted it, because they're really hard to find these days. But anyway, she used it for teaching in classes a lot, she said. And I don't remember what she, like, because you could like find a note easily in or something she'd say, but she could play it, like she could play the guitar. It was weird. But anyway, so I remember I was part of this group. I only remember meeting like once. I only really remember meeting once, but I think we met twice. And the first time I think is when we met together and she talked about it. And the second time was when we, there must have been like older kids in there too, because I can remember this babysitter of mine, my mom, the year that she was like, well, she got her master's degree over 2 years in education. And this one year I had this babysitter that whole summer, and she just was like a really good girl. Like, my mom loved her. I always kind of wonder what happened to her. She had kind of a really different name, and I remember it to this day. I should look her up. And she had like a big family. But anyway, she was part of the ambassadors at Carmel. That was like the best choir that like traveled and was always like #1 in the state and things like that. They always competed with North Central's #1 choir. I mean, this was like Glee when I was, like, these were big deals when I was in high school. Do you know what's interesting is, like, I look back on that, like, I can remember, like, because, you know, like, for orchestra concerts and stuff like that, I mean, 4 years of it, I would, like, sit in the audience, like, my friends and I, and we would sit there, and my friends were always, like, I always had, like, these 2 girlfriends. One of them's a year younger than me, and she and I have the same birthday. She's the one that lives in Portland, Oregon. She played the clarinet, and my other friend played percussion, and the 3 of us were, like, the best friends, and like in school, period. Like the friend that played she was a percussionist. She played drums and stuff, and she was in orchestra, and like we were like best friends outside of orchestra, but we always hung, you know, obviously hung out together in orchestra and stuff too. They were in band as well. My friend that was a percussion, they were both in marching band, and but we were very, very different too. Like, we were kind of like in between like skaters and punks. We were a little bit more not preppy, but a little bit more like sport coat and concert t-shirt kind of deal. But anyway, I can just see the 3 of us sitting there, and I remember that there were like these singers in the ambassadors. I remember there's this one girl, and I don't know how I remember her name. I don't remember her last name. I never knew her. She was like a year older than me. Her name was Courtney something. And this girl could sing like nobody's business. I mean, like, I do not know how this girl did not end up in Broadway, or why she didn't end up in, you know, but it's crazy when you look back, and it's like, I can just remember her doing solos, and like they were so impeccable, and she just like walk out there, and she was like really humble and stuff, and it's like I look back on that, and it's like I wonder what happened to her. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she wasn't in my class. She may have actually been 2 years ahead of me. And then there were other people that like I think she was like, no, I think she was a year ahead of me. But there were like other people that, I don't know, maybe she was 2 years ahead of me. There were a lot of people that were like that just were like these incredible singers, you know, that like, I can remember like the teachers and like, you know, the people would always just say like, oh, Judy Smith, you know she's going to get the solo, because she just like, and Judy Smith would always get the solo, you know, and she wasn't arrogant about it. She was real humble, but she could sing like nobody's business. And I have never heard of any of them ending up in Broadway or movies or anything like that. Isn't it interesting? But yet in high school, like, that was their whole life. You know, it makes you wonder if they went on to like study music in college and then became like music teachers or something. You know, I have no idea. I know what happened to a lot of the people in my class, but like the other classes, I have no idea what happened to anybody in my other classes or the classes around me. But anyway, I remember we recorded this record. It was like this children's record, and we did one song on the album. And it was like 3 or 5 different groups in Indianapolis were on this album, and we were one of them. And I remember it was like a group of like, I can see us, we're all sitting on the carpet in her living room and practicing this song, and I remember we were all excited about it, and my babysitter was there too. I think I remember her being really excited when she found out that I got to be part of the group, and we would that was like the summer that she was babysitting me, and we would like practice the song together and stuff. I can see us like riding our bikes, and we would be singing. She'd say, okay, now try this and try this octave, and we would sing it and stuff together. Isn't that so funny that singing was such a big part of my life, and now I love to sing in videos and stuff like that. But anyway, I don't even know how I started telling that. Oh, when I was a little kid, I used to like, you know, sit in the library, and I would just, for hours, I mean, literally, you guys, for hours, I would play records. And I can see myself, I don't know how to explain it, but I can see myself like just kind of like walking and like looking. I mean, I literally felt like I was on a stage, you know, and I was doing live performances to these. I'm like looking down at, you know, like the the different things in the market, you know. I would though, I like practice these things for hours. Oh my God, I did for hours upon hours. So I always loved to sing, and my mom always loved to sing, and then my dad always loved to sing too. But it's funny, is my dad actually has a pretty good singing voice. He would not tell you that. He would say he has a horrible singing voice, but no, he doesn't. My aunt, who used to always sing, is totally tone deaf. And my mom would always say, now there's a lot of things I can say about Kathy, but that she's a good singer is not one of them. She is tone deaf, and she was pretty tone deaf. But anyway, actually this guy that I did, that was one of the other judges with me, when I judged Miss Indiana. It feels like there's more in there, but there's nothing in there. Anyway, tap that can out. I got another Diet Coke right over here too, because I thought tonight was a 2 Diet Coke night. There was this guy, I don't know why I was doing that, it was silly. That I was another judge, and because, you know, like they tried to have judges that like had expertise in each different area. So they had like somebody that was like an expert in academics, and then they had somebody that was, I don't know what my expertise was. I really don't. But anyway, yeah, I kind of didn't really fit into that group, but they were so nice, and I had such a great time. But this guy had perfect pitch. And like, do you know what a big deal that is to have her perfect pitch? Like, I didn't realize until we were at dinner one night, and so there was this woman, and she's so nice. Alex and I had actually sat on panels with her before, because we used to do like mock interviews for pageants. So before the Miss Indiana from like USA and America would go to the national pageant, we would sit on a panel, and we would, because we know so many people in pageants, that we would, do you know what's really funny is tonight, regarding drama, I was looking at somebody's Instagram, and like a famous person within the beauty industry, and they follow my friend Brittany, and I was like, that is really weird. Anyway, so, what was I gonna say? Anyway, I thought that, I don't know why I got this side. And so we used to do these mock interviews where the girls would come, the contestants would come in, and it was supposed to prepare them for the interview process, and there'd be like 6 of us on the panel, and we could just fire questions off at them like that, and they had to answer them the exact same way that they didn't answer them for the interview, because that's how the interview goes, like the interview process before the final night, which is like a big part in the America pageant system. The interview is like a huge portion of that. It's like 30% or something like that. Man, and I'm telling you, I was so impressed. So on our panels, like Alex and I would do a lot of the pop culture questions. That's why we were there. And then like they would have somebody that was like an attorney that was asking like a lot of political questions. And then they would, or like legal questions about like whatever current event, like kind of legal situations, political things were going on. And then they would have somebody that was like a healthcare advocate about things that were going on in healthcare in current events. And then they would have somebody that was like a political science, you know, teacher or professor that would talk about like world events and things like that. And then like they could be asked anything. So like a judge at Miss America pageant systems or Miss USA as well can be asked anything. So when you walk in that room, you have no idea what you're about to get asked. They could ask you, what do you think about Kim and Kanye's separation? Or they could ask you, you know, like, if you had to pick a candidate for this last election, who would you have picked and why? I mean, they could ask you anything. Can you imagine walking in there? I mean, you would have to be so versed. And this is interesting. This goes for drag pageants too. On their interview questions, they can get asked anything as well. But these girls that we used to interview, I was so impressed, you know, because the whole idea is you're supposed to like stand to what you believe, right? So like, let's say if, you know, like the political stuff was always interesting to me when we would sit there, because we weren't asking political questions because that was not our arena that we were there to ask for. We were there to do pop culture questions. But it was always interesting to me when they would ask them, you know, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Well, okay, so like if you had a situation that dealt with like, there were a lot of like the contestants, we did it for like 10 years. There were a lot of contestants that like had very strong Christian beliefs, right? Okay, I mean, we're in Bible Belt of America. So they have very strong Christian beliefs. And like, if they got asked a question about something to do with, like anything that would like possibly question their religious beliefs, that makes sense? Like a current events topic. It was always interesting to me how these girls with such grace could stand firm to what they believed in while yet not offending anybody else. Like, it was like, I mean, they were amazing speakers. And they're like 20, and I'm like blown away, you know? But they could stick to what they believed in and their answer and stand strong, and yet at the same time not come across as combative or offensive. It was just really, really interesting to me. And a lot of them had like training for years on like communication skills, and a lot of them were communication majors and things like that. I just was really interested. And you know, the other thing is that like pageants get really bad raps for like the girls being like not very smart or whatever. These girls that are in pageants, let me just tell you, typically they have full-time jobs or at least part-time jobs. Most of them get amazing grades in school. Like, I'm talking straight A's. I think the majority of the people that, like, once you graduate from college, well, that would be all of the misses, not the teens, but they are, most of them are in college. I don't think I ever interviewed one that wasn't in college. And they're always studying, like, communications or science or they're always like, it's always this serious, really serious stuff. And they're very like involved with their families, or there's some story about their family. And then they have these platforms, and you know, all of the girls that we ever interviewed, like their platforms were like let's say if their platform was like adoption, right? But they had been like doing community service since they were like 10 years old. Like they would say like, well, I was adopted, so my platform is, you know, helping kids transition that are older into adoption, you know, or something like that. And then they would like have worked for like the Big Sisters mentoring program with kids that were like adopting and transitioning, and they had done that since they were like 12. I mean, it was amazing what these girls had done, you know? And it's why I think pageants get such a bad rap, that it's like, oh, it's just a beauty pageant, when it is not just a beauty pageant, you know? And it's like, I have never seen some well-rounded people, not just women, but people in my life. My God. I mean, you know, and it just was so impressive. And so anyway, you know, and I've had a lot of friends that have been pageant winners or have been in pageants, and winners or not, the pageants have opened a lot of doors for them, you know. And I've never witnessed that. I really haven't. I think this was actually kind of like the generation before I got involved, because I have been involved in some like glitz pageants and things like that. I judged one a couple years ago. My friend Courtney, she was a judge, and at the last minute they needed a judge, and so I went to St. Louis. It was my birthday weekend. I missed my 25th high school reunion for it. Oh God, I had so much fun though. And that was my first glitz pageant that I had ever judged. And I didn't witness anything that they talk about like in Toddlers and Tiaras. Okay, my battery is already at the halfway mark, you guys, and I'm coming up on a half an hour. I could see it and I knew it was gonna stop. I only have one battery with me, so when the red thing starts flashing, I'm gonna have to end this video tonight, which I was sitting in the car and I was like, okay, I only have one battery. Should I run back in and get the other battery? And I was like, no, because I don't feel like talking that long tonight anyway, because I've been filming so many videos that my throat is starting to hurt. By the way, my husband and I, if you don't regularly watch my review video, we did a review of these, I can't say, I was gonna say just nuts, but we did a review of these nuts tonight. These nuts. These praline pecans and these cinnamon almonds, and we had such a fun time doing the video, so go check it out because it was a blast. Alex and I had such a good time doing it. And my video yesterday that I did about the lights was so much fun too. But anyway, you know, like I never witnessed that. Like honestly, like the pageant was in this hotel that was like in a really nice area of town. It was like kind of off of the interstate, like right when you got into St. Louis, and it was in this area that was like, I mean, there was like, in that area there was like 3 hotels, and there was like a Mercedes dealership and like a Porsche dealership and like 3 really nice restaurants. And the whole hotel, which it was like I don't think it was a Holiday Inn. I don't know what it was. It was really nice. But it had a bar restaurant downstairs too, like a really nice bar, and had a huge swimming pool inside that the kids were swimming in, and it was like a family thing, like the whole weekend. I saw like dads and moms and brothers and sisters, and like they were all like together, and you would see like the whole family rooting them on and stuff. I didn't see any of that stuff that you see in Toddlers and Tiaras. I have never witnessed that in any kind of pageant system that I have ever gone to. Have I met moms that are disgruntled over scoring? Yes. Very rarely. They don't, I wouldn't say they get angry, like they feel cheated or like their daughters didn't do a good job. And in the glitz pageant, there were quite a few boys that were in it too. Younger though, like a year to 4 years old, I would say. But they, and there's like in those glitz pageants, there's so many, I mean, everybody basically wins an award. There's so many different, there's like, you know, prettiest baby 6 months to 7 months. I mean, there's so many different categories that everybody wins something basically, because you pay to like be part of that. This is totally different. Like the Miss America, Miss USA pageant systems, like those are like, not that those are not legit pageant systems, because like friends of mine, like my friend Courtney that was Miss Indiana, she did all those pageants growing up, and that like she would tell you that prepared me to be like in the pageant system. So, and that was like a sport to her. She loved doing it, you know. And she has a daughter, and her daughter's not interested in doing it, and so she's never pushed it with her. But I think Courtney still does like pageant coaching and things like that. Courtney was the one that I went to that Rev thing with a couple years ago. That was such a fun night, but it makes me so sad because that was the last time that we all saw Jason. And I can remember just like, he was such a like nice guy. He was like 6'5", and I can remember he'd always come up, and whenever he saw me, he'd be like, Peter, and he'd give me like this big bear hug. And I can see him, like, he had such a nice suit on, because he'd come to our house first that night. Because he and Alex, he and Alex were going with 2 other people, like the 4 of them in the group were going. And so he came and picked up Alex, and he like put his like tie and stuff on at our house. He just had this suit, like, he loved to have suits like handmade. He was so tall, he had to have suits handmade, you know. And he was showing me the inside of it, and it was like this pattern and stuff, and he was so excited about it. And he was such a nice guy. And I could see it like it was just yesterday. We were standing there talking. He and his girlfriend had just like broken up the week before, and he was kind of talking about that, and that was sad. Anyway, but I can see, because we danced that night at the end, like everybody danced on the racetrack at the Indy 500. It's this fundraiser called Rev, and it's for, I think, IU Children's Hospital. or something like that. Such a fun night. And Courtney asked me to go because she'd gotten 2 tickets. And so she was like, I know Alex really wanted to go. And she was like, but he already has somebody that he's going with because somebody had asked Alex. And so she was like, does Peter want to go? And so she called me and she was like, do you want to go, babe? And I was like, yeah. And oh my God, we had so much fun. So I met her and then we drove over there. But I can see Jason that night. And he came over and gave me a big hug. He had on like a sock hat. And that was the last time I saw him before he passed away. So sad, you know? He was such a good guy. But anyway, pageants, singing. I don't know what I'm talking about tonight. I'm all over the place. Somebody texted me a while ago and I didn't even look to see who it was. I've been meaning to pull in to see. I'm really, to be honest with you, I'm dying for some water right now. That Diet Coke is good and it's cold and it's wet, but like, Tanya always says, I'm thirsty, I'm wet. I need something wet, I'm thirsty, I need water or a Diet Coke. Oh, man. Let's see who is texting me. What is this? My husband's sending me something. He's always sending me things he thinks I should buy. Why does he think that I would like that? It's this Coach backpack, and it has Mickey Mouse on it. I mean, I do like it. It's cute, but I'm not like that big of a... It's like an old school Mickey Mouse, too. I've been trying to use all of my stuff that I have purchased in the last year, because what's the point in having it if you're not going to use it, right? Can't take it with you. But anyway, yeah, I used to do shows in our living room, and then I was part of that album. I wonder what the album was called. I don't think I ever got one. I wonder if I do have one in the basement somewhere. I have all of my mom's records together in one area. Well, most of her records and my records I have next to the record player upstairs, which that whole table, it's like on a buffet table, is such a mess. Alex has like old textbooks over there from like conferences that he, well, not textbooks, but like manuals and stuff from like conferences that he's gone to, and we have tons of pictures over there, and then the albums are just like stacked up, and then we have like all these essential oils that we used to use this thing, we don't use it anymore, and more pictures of us, and then I have all of my graphic novels stacked up over there, and then Alex has a bunch of work stuff, and we just need to clean up that whole table. I bought, actually, I don't have a needle right now in my record player because it like broke off. So, God, it's been like 2 years ago. I ordered a new needle for the record player, and I ordered this like crate, because remember I was talking about the record store Peaches that we used to have in Broderpool, which I found out from you guys that it was like a chain. My mom and I used to go there when I was a kid, and they would keep all of the records in Peaches crates, and so the record store was called Peaches. Well, I actually bought a crate online that you can, it's just for records, vinyl albums, and it probably would hold like, I don't know, 100 or something. Maybe not that many. So, but I have a ton upstairs. I have like Grace Jones, Stevie Nicks, Fleetwood Mac, Beatles, Judy Collins, Bob Dylan. I have all mine and my mom's, but I have a ton downstairs too, but they're like not anything that I think anybody would want, you know? Like, I don't know, they're just... Do you know what's really interesting is, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about this, it's been forever. This is why the basement, there's like always this part in my head. I know this is gonna be so stupid, but there's been 2 psychics I went to that told me that I had something in my basement that was worth over $200,000. And it's under a desk, supposedly, and I walk right by it every time I go to the basement. I've been told this like twice, like years ago, right? So I've always been hesitant to throw stuff away because I'm like, well, God, what? I mean, now people are like, oh, now we get it, Peter. Okay. No, but like that has been a part of it. I said that years ago. So like if you've watched my vlog from the very beginning, this isn't anything new. But I've always been like, I mean, I've looked through that basement like nobody's business, and there's nothing that's worth anything down there. And I actually even have like this plastic bin of stuff that I was going to sell on eBay, like a Teddy Ruxpin, and like I have another Cabbage Patch doll, I think, down there, and all this. And I just was like, why do I'm not going to sell this stuff on eBay for $30? Who'd care, right? So I should actually give that Teddy Ruxpin to Sebastian, because he would like something like that, because he's like likes like stuffed animals and stuff like that. So anyway, what was I gonna say? I think it still plays too. If I had some double D batteries in there, it'll play like He'll Talk and whatever. That Teddy Ruxpin. But you know what's interesting is that this big desk downstairs in our basement, the records are kind of pushed underneath it. Wouldn't that be so weird if I had a record that was worth $200,000 in my basement? That would be crazy. But I've looked up to see like what the most expensive albums are ever. One of them is a Bob Dylan album. I think it's a Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, and it's the first 1,000 albums ever produced had the song on there. It's like Butcher or something or whatever. I don't Butcher Baker. I don't know what the song is called. That's a true crime book that I always forget that we read. Oh, we came up with our true crime book today, but I can't say what it is. Well, I think Mel was going to put it on the Facebook, but I'm going to announce it tomorrow or Monday in a video. I may tomorrow just not do anything but do the vlog late at night. I've been filming so many videos on my other channels that tonight, like when I was filming, I literally, like, my throat was like hurting so bad, and I was like, I'm losing my voice, and so I was like, well, maybe I'll just relax tomorrow, so we'll see. I want to review this Mountain Dew on my review channel. It's like Major Melon or something like that. I want to review that, and I want to review some of these new LaCroix that I haven't tried before, and those will be easy. So anyway, those are fun. I love trying new stuff on that review channel. I have so much fun on that channel. And then I probably won't do anything on my Peter Does Stuff channel. And then if I do the book, well, I wanted to do this graphic novel haul on my booktube channel. I need to clean out my little desk area in the kitchen because it's getting very, very busy over there. It's like I have literally like 30 books. There were songs in the hill, but I never heard them ringing. I don't know the words to that song. There were songs in the hills, but I never heard them ringing, and that's not it. Oh, I do know it. There were birds in the sky, but I never heard them winging. No, I never heard them at all, till there was you. You know what I was singing to Boo Radley tonight? Boo Radley and Tucker were being so sweet when I was laying down. And I was singing to Boo Radley. I was like, I should do like a 30-second video because I sing this to him a lot. He'll lay on my chest, and I thought this would be so cute for me just to have on my channel if I just filmed like a 30-second video for my Peter Does Stuff channel. I might do this and call it Sunshine. So in case you see it, you'll be like, Peter told us about it first. But he always lays on my chest, and I just pet his little head, and I sing, you are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. My mom used to sing me Danny Boy a lot. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are time. I don't know the words to that. Do, 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 do. I think because, like, when I was growing up, like my mom would, like, make a pot of coffee. Not even really a pot of coffee. She would make, like, either instant or the percolator. I don't even remember. I'm, like, looking at my kitchen. I don't know if we had, like, a coffee pot maker in our... I don't remember that. Isn't that weird? She made coffee in a percolator, like, all the time. Or she would just make like a cup of instant coffee. Oh, you know what I know we had? We had a hot tap. Do you guys know what that is? So you know, like when a lot of people had like the hose in the sink that could spray everything? We didn't have that. We had like this tap, and it was like this big button or big dial like that you turned, and it was boiling hot water. So all she would have to do is put instant coffee or tea in that thing, and then you could make like coffee. Like, you didn't even have to heat the water up. Isn't that crazy that we had that? I always think back about that, and I think that's kind of cool that we had that, like that hot water tap. Anyway, I mean, it's like boiling water always. Isn't that crazy? You guys, I'm gonna have to stop and get a bottle of water here because I am like dying for water. But anyway, I can just remember I can see my mom like in the kitchen, like, you know, after dinner, she would clean up and do all the dishes. The battery died, and now I'm in the driveway at home because I had to come all the way home and get a battery so that I could finish my vlog. I almost was like, I was driving around a little bit because I wanted to finish the Misfortune book, which I did. And I just started Saint X by Alexis Shaken. It's beautifully written, you guys. I'm literally like only 10 minutes into it, and I'm like, oh my God, this book is so beautifully written. But I was driving around, I was listening to my audiobook after, I was like, I cannot believe that my battery died. And, because I only had the one battery with me. So I was like, I'm just gonna finish the vlog tomorrow, like when I get up and like after we go to brunch. I'm so hungry for a gluten-free waffle right now that they have at Cafe Patishu. It's so delicious. It truly does taste like an elephant ear. Every time I go in there now and I'm like, I say that I want the gluten-free waffle, they're always like, it's so much better than the regular waffle, isn't it? And which is so funny because I haven't had the regular waffle there. I didn't even know they had one. I thought they just had a gluten-free waffle. I have seen people sometimes, though, they make a grilled cheese with 2 pieces of waffle. It's like real gooey cheese. And then I saw these girls one day, they were there, and I had never seen anybody eat this there before. I mean, the menu at Cafe Patishu is not that big. It's like salads, sandwiches, omelets. There's like croissant French toast, which I like their croissant French toast. Alex gets a Cuban breakfast, which is like rice, avocado, egg. What else does he get? What does it have in it? Rice, avocado, egg. That might be it. And then he puts like sriracha on it. And then he gets turkey chili. They've got great sandwiches, like, I used to get their chicken salad all the time. They have a lot of vegetarian options on their menu. They have like a vegetarian Cobb salad, which I thought about getting. Oh, their egg salad sandwich is fantastic. Sometimes I get this to take home because the waiter there that we're friends with, he recommended it to me one time. It was like the summer, and we were sitting outside, and I got it to take home. I might do this tomorrow. I know I shouldn't, but I might. An egg salad sandwich with avocado on toasted whole wheat is so delicious, and they have the best, like, these, like, chips that they have in there, these baked chips that are kind of like kettle chips, but they don't taste as, like, kind of like sweet as kettle chips. You know how kettle chips kind of taste sweet? Sometimes they don't taste like that. But anyway, yeah, their menu is fantastic. Oh, so anyway, I saw these girls, and they were, like, sitting there, and they had like a picture of mimosas, because you can get like, they have like these long, not long, but like, you know, long, you know, those like glass vases that come like that. Like sometimes you put water in it, like at a restaurant or whatever. They also have like one of those water filter things. So they bring you a glass bottle of water to your table, and then just these little water glasses, which is really nice. Their orange juice is delicious too. I might have to get a glass of orange juice there tomorrow. It's like freshly squeezed orange juice. And they outsource all of their products from local farms and things like that, which I think is fantastic. And then the woman that owns it, she also has a restaurant called Public Greens, and like a lot of local kids, like at the like Indianapolis public schools, like they eat from the Public Greens. Like they have like farms and stuff here in Indianapolis where they've like turned like areas of Indianapolis into like local gardens and stuff like that. Not farms, but local gardens. Isn't that so cool? A couple years ago, God, it's been, I don't know, probably 7 years now. I don't even know how Alex and I got invited to this, but it was like, they were doing this thing at this restaurant called Public. So the woman that owns Cafe Patachu, she owns like 6 or 7 restaurants here in town. She's kind of like not an empire, but like she's like really known as like a really cool like restaurateur here. She also owns this pizza place that Alex, it's not like a old school pizza place. It's called, shoot, why can't I remember it? It's right up here at the mall. Well, she also owns Le Petit Choux, which is very much like Cafe Patachu. Or maybe her daughter owns that one, I'm not sure. But there's this pizza place up here. Well, I'll drive by there and tell you. Because there's a Public Greens at the mall, too. There's one in Broad Ripple, and then there's one at the mall. And it's very cool. Outside, it's like all wood, the outside of the restaurant. And then what's the restaurant next to it that Alex loves? And it's like homemade, like brick pizzas, you know, like that you make in like the brick ovens and stuff. I've only been there one time. I don't love those kind of pizzas, but it's like very fancy pizza. You know what I mean? They're very artsy. What is that restaurant called? Why can't I think? Alex loves that restaurant. He goes there a lot with friends. But anyway, one day for brunch at Cafe Patachu, we were sitting there, and there were these 2 girls there. They were probably like 22 or 23, and I remember they were like in like sweats, and like this girl had her hair, she was like, they were both like real cute, but they were just like in sweats and like sweat, you know, t-shirts, and like their hair was like all like done up in like these messy buns, and they had like the big glasses on. They were like so cute and so like artsy looking for like, you know, like when like that whole like effortless look that I wish I could just pull off, but I can never, you know what I mean? Like it always looks like I tried too hard. You know that look, you know what I'm talking about? Like they just looked like that, and they were just like in Uggs and like gray sweatpants, and they just looked like, I don't know, they were like art and philosophy majors in college or something like that. But they have these pictures of mimosas or something. There's another drink that they have there. I always ask Alex what it is when people get it. Bellinis. We didn't drink Bellinis back in the day. Hell, we didn't drink mimosas back in the day. We drank maybe Bloody Marys. I did love a good Bloody Mary back in the day. But they were drinking like this pitcher of mimosas, because I heard the girl say at the end, because it was closing, because we always get in there late, and the one girl said, I may have talked about this on here actually, the one girl said to the other girl, well, do you want to go to such and such restaurant at the mall? Well, let's just drive over there and I'll tell you what the other restaurant's called, because I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, she was like, we can go over there and have a couple more drinks. I was like, God, I remember those Sunday afternoons when you would get up and you'd be hungover on a Sunday morning, and then you'd go out to brunch with your friends, and then just, we called it day drinking. I look back on that, I think, my God, and I was so like drunk by like 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I just would sleep. We would go out on Sunday nights so late, because Sunday nights were a lot of fun. But anyway, they were eating these grilled cheeses, and it was like a cup of soup, because they have a cup of soup there and a bowl of soup. As soon as I see this sign for this restaurant, I'm gonna be like, I can't believe I couldn't remember it. It's one word, and it's kind of like it's like a different word. It's not like Maggiano's, but it's something like that. You know what I mean? I can't believe I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, there's only 2 of them, I think, in Indianapolis. There's one over, so the original Cafe Patachu is on Illinois Street, which is like in, like on Broad Ripple, between Broad Ripple and like Butler University. And like, it's been around since I was like in graduate school, like since when I got sober. And now there's like the one that we go to, and then we sometimes go to the one in Carmel. Well, there's 2 in Carmel. There's one at Clay Terrace, which is an outside mall, and then there's another one. I thought I just saw it turn off. And then there's another one at, like on just like this little strip mall area. I swear to God, I thought I saw somebody sitting in this car. It's just parked on the side here. That's weird. No, I swear I saw somebody sitting in that car. It's late. It's 5:04 in the morning now. I was driving around listening to that book for a little bit. Oh, I also went and I stopped and I got a bottle of water. But I'm still drinking my Diet Coke, Joe. Anyway, I looked over and she was dipping this waffle into this tomato soup. They have tomato artichoke soup there. That's like, their 2 daily soups every day are turkey chili and tomato artichoke. And they're both really good. But I obviously don't eat the turkey chili because I'm a vegetarian. But Alex always gets either a cup or a bowl of turkey chili, and then he also gets a huge cup of croutons, because their croutons are like French bread cut up. They're like homemade croutons, and like he dips the entire thing. They always give him like tons of extra croutons. Or I always go reach over and steal a few croutons because they're so good. Don't you love croutons? Don't you love croutons? That should be the title of this video. But I went back and I looked and see what I was talking about. I was talking about like my mom cleaning up in the kitchen when it died, but I don't know when the battery died, but I don't know what the point of me talking. I have 3 batteries and they're constantly always dying. I think I need to buy new batteries. But anyway, because they're fully charged, and it's like some of them just, well, I had my camera in my car today for a while with that battery in it, and I think that's what happened. I think it got cold, and when it gets too cold or too hot, I think it drains the battery a little bit. I don't know. But anyway, I usually try to wait and put the battery, like the refreshed battery that's like, because it turns green, like it's orangey red, like orange, when it's like dead and you're charging it, and then it turns green when it's done. I'm sure that's like nothing. You guys are like, yeah, Peter, like everything else that you charge. But anyway, so I try to grab the battery when it's fully charged and then just like go right then and film. But it happens to me all the time on all of my channels. But anyway, and sometimes I notice it flashing, and other times I don't notice it's flashing. Isn't that so weird? But anyway, I'll be like looking. I can be like looking right at it, and I'm like, how did I not see it? So anyway, but these girls were dipping these, what do you call it? Not their mimosas. They were dipping. Shoot. I don't even know how I heard them say, do you want to go have another drink or two? But anyway, that's so funny that they were like sitting right close to us when they said that. I think that was when we were sitting outside. But anyway, they were dipping these waffles in this tomato soup, and I was like, why are they dipping those waffles in the tomato soup? And I looked, and it was like grilled cheese. Like they were grilled cheese sandwiches made out of 2 big waffles. And so our waiter came, like, I think they left, and I said, was that a grilled cheese sandwich? And he's like, yeah. He's like, we've had that on our menu forever. It's like grilled cheese made on a waffle, and then you can like dip it in the tomato. It's like you get it to dip it in the tomato soup. I was like, oh my God. If there weren't so many things that I love here, I would definitely get that. They put a few new items on their menu in the last year. Like one of the things they put on there, well, what did Sarah get? Sarah tried this. They have like a acai power bowl, and it's got like all this kind, is it like chai? Is that what it is? It's got all this different kinds of fruits and some vegetables and stuff in it. She liked it. I asked our waiter, and he was like, yeah, I didn't really like it. But then they also have banana bread, like a thick slice of banana bread, and then you can get like toasted and buttered. And then they have like the best cinnamon toast in the entire world. They have great bagels. If I get an omelet, I always get it. Well, I don't always. I sometimes get cinnamon toast. But most often, if I get an omelet, I get an everything bagel toasted with cream cheese on it. I'm kind of going back. Ooh, I almost dropped my Diet Coke. Ooh, thank the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank God I didn't spill my Diet Coke. I'm kind of going back and forth between my Diet Coke and my water. But doesn't that sound so good? A grilled cheese made with waffles. I'm not going to vlog forever because I think I'm already at like, I was like at 45 minutes. And I want to listen to at least another half an hour of this book. To kind of get into it a little bit. It takes me a while to kind of get into a book. So I want to like tomorrow be able to just listen to some of this book. Like I said, I think I might take tomorrow off and not film any videos. Like once I start, I have such a hard time stopping, and then it'll be like, before I know it, it'll be 8 o'clock and Alex will have napped for 4 hours. And it's like, I think maybe tomorrow I might kind of just like to relax. And like I said, I might get an egg-salad sandwich and bring it home for later. Alex always at like 5 or 6, he starts getting kind of hungry. He's not napping. He'll like come downstairs, and he's always got leftover stuff from the week though, you know? And then he'll heat it up. Although I don't think he has any leftovers this week. And then he'll heat it up. I hate when people just throw bags of trash outside. I don't know why that frustrates me so much. It'll be so funny if like right before I get here I remember what this restaurant is. Do you ever do that? Like you're trying to remember something and then like right before you look it up and Google it, you remember what it is, or right before you like, okay, but yeah, it's gonna be right up. Annapolis, I can see the sign. It's called Annapolis. Anyway, they usually have security sitting out over here. They don't. Do you guys want to see it? Here, I'll drive you by. This is the mall. This is the Keystone Mall. Saks is over here. This is like our nice mall. Saks is over here. We actually just got a Louis Vuitton store. Louis Vuitton used to be inside Saks, and then they closed that. It was like part of Saks. And then they closed it. I'll do a little tour of the mall for you guys. Would you like that? Okay, you guys are like, Peter would care less. Over here is Ruth's. Come on, don't do this tonight. Hello? Are you there? Is it me you're looking for? Over here across the street is Ruth's Cafe, which has like the best grilled cheese and tomato soup in the entire world. Speaking of which, I used to always go over there and get it. But that restaurant is so cool. It has all this artwork on them. It's like a mom and shop kind of restaurant, and it has all this like artwork on the like local artwork on the walls, and then like every table has like different salt and pepper shakers. It's very like that, you know, it's like a small diner. It's so cute. I love that place. And they actually have this thing that's like a crepe. I can't remember what it's called. My friend Erin introduced me to it, but it's like a crepe, and it's like comes out and it's rolled, and it's like this long. And you can get it just with like butter and cinnamon inside, which is what I get. And then you put syrup over it with butter on the outside. So good. I'm sure it's so fattening. It's called a letki or something like that. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So there's that, or but you can also get it with like Nutella and stuff like that. You guys are like, why are you showing us the mall? This is so stupid, Peter. I know. And there's like, seriously, there's like security over here at the mall, so they're probably like, what are you doing? Well, I'm filming is what I'm doing. So here is, let's see if I can. Okay, so these are her 3 restaurants right here. Mimi Blues, it's supposed to be meatballs and stuff. I've never been there. Public Greens, which is right there. And then Napoli's, that's the one that Alex loves. There's the food court in there. And then Urban Outfitters is right here. And then the Apple Store, which I never go in, I loathe. And then North Face. And then this is the entrance, the front entrance to the mall. Pottery Barn. In the back is Nordstrom. You can park back there, and the movie theater. This is Seasons 52. My dad loves this restaurant. And then Sullivan's Restaurant. This was my aunt's favorite. It's like a steakhouse. I think that's the last place I went to dinner with my aunt. Maybe. I don't remember. Valerie just went there recently, and she said she didn't care for it, and the service was horrible. And then here's the other side of the mall, and there's Crate and Barrel. And then this is the Cheesecake Factory that Alex and I, Melissa and Jason come to all the time. This is it right here. Here it is. There's the Cheesecake Factory that we always come to. And then here is Saks Fifth Avenue. And then if you go across the street, which this whole area that I'm showing you right now is so funny because it used to be this whole different mall that was called the Bazaar back in the day. And it had all these craft shops and stuff. So here I'm gonna turn and go this way. Do you guys like that restaurant Piata? Alex loves it. Okay, so here's Brew Burger. This used to be Champs. This is actually where I had my 20-year high school reunion on the lake back here. They tore it all down and they put Brew Burger, which is right there. And it's amazing. You can get the Impossible Burger with anything. Like any of their cheeseburgers that they have, you can get the Impossible Burger. And then right here is Cafe Patashu. Can you even believe it that you're actually getting to see? I can't believe I've never driven by here before and shown it. So here's Cafe Patashu. See, there it is. Isn't that so cute? We usually sit back there. And here it is. See? Cinnamon Toast, 7 days a week. Isn't that so cute? And then Dry Bar. Who cares? I don't know about all this kind of stuff. But then over here, around the corner, is Barnes & Noble that I go to sometimes. This is our Barnes & Noble. It's huge. It's nice. I think I actually did a tour in there one time, maybe. And then look, Bed Bath & Beyond is gone. There used to be this restaurant or this store right here called Details that my mom really, really liked, and it was so cute. All of our local, like fashion, female fashion Instagrammers, they all shop at this Dottie Couture boutique, which is so funny, don't you think? You guys, look at this. Bed Bath & Beyond, it's gone. God, that makes me so sad. You can see all the way back there. You guys want to hear something funny? Okay, so here's Old Navy, right? So, hold on, I'm going to turn this around so I can tell you guys the story, because this is kind of funny. So, my very first boyfriend that I was with for like almost 5 years, 5 years. I don't actually remember what our anniversary was. Isn't that so weird? Yeah, I don't remember our anniversary. I'm gonna go back over here. What was our anniversary? That is so crazy. Well, it would have been around Halloween time. But anyway, I thought somebody just left their Range Rover parked right in the middle of this empty, dead mall. Do you ever like drive through mall parking lots late at night and it reminds you of like a zombie? It makes you think of a zombie apocalypse. But anyway, there's Piata. Alex likes Piata. I was asking him the other day, and he's like, I haven't been to Piata in a long time. There's a Starbucks in this Barnes & Noble too. It's a really nice Barnes & Noble. I don't love Barnes & Noble because I just like more independent bookstores or smaller ones like half-price books, but it's whatever. And then here's Maggiano's right here. You guys want to see or do not care? Here's our Maggiano's that I get stuff from. And then right over here is Ocean Prime. This is where Melissa and Jason and Alex and I went for New Year's. We did that for Valentine's Day last year too. It's a nice steakhouse. But I just get a baked potato and a wedge salad. And then our Ulta is over there. And Sephora is back in there. And then you can see there's Ruth's Cafe right across the street. I love that place. Okay, so this is so funny about Old Navy. So my very first boyfriend that I was with, he worked at this store in the mall. Well, he was a DJ too. He is a DJ. He's a DJ and a photographer now. But he, do you think that like, if you go to where the thing, see, it just changed when I did that. Do you think like, if you're like right on that thing that it changes? People always say that. I don't know if I believe that or not. Here's Reese Nichols Jewelers that I've always want to go in and try on nice watches, and I never do. I always say I'm going to do that, and I never do. Like, I always tell Tanya, I said, we should go in there, and I'm just going to try on some nice watches. And she's like, okay. We never do that. We always say we're going to walk around the little town square in Noblesville, too, and we never do that either. But anyway, my first boyfriend, he worked at the mall, Castleton Mall, which is a different mall. Here's some other places, like, okay, so this is another, back in here, I don't know if you can see it, that's District Tap back there. It's another restaurant that we go to sometimes. So it's just, our world is just strip malls over here. But anyway, I think well, there's not a McNamara florist over here anymore. There used to be a McNamara florist. I showed that on my Peter Does Stuff channel over here. But anyway, what was the one restaurant that was over here that you would like get your rice and pick out your vegetables and everything, and they would like fry it for you? Do you guys remember that? It was called something, I feel like it was called something Grill. I used to love that place. Like, I never went there for the longest time. And then finally I went there one day. Alex and I went there, and I was like, oh my God, I love it so much. actually, my ex and I, there used to be a Forbidden City buffet right here, and we would go there every Sunday, and it was the best Chinese buffet I have ever had in my entire life. No, there's not a McNamara over here anymore, because it is now this bar called Blend, which is a cigar bar. Anyway, my very first boyfriend, he worked at this store. Why are they salting the roads? Are we supposed to get snow again and they're not saying anything about it? I didn't see anything about snow that we're supposed to get. There's like salt all over the road. My very first boyfriend worked at that store at the mall called FTE. That was like that music store or whatever. But he always had like a part-time, like he would always have like 2 or 3 part-time jobs. And so like he did room service at the Marriott, like was this big job. I loved that. He would always bring me home like all the leftover desserts, because he would get home at like 2 or 3 in the morning. I'd stay up and watch TV and wait for him to get home, and he would bring home like a styrofoam like take home thing, you know, and it would have like carrot cake, tiramisu, and like chocolate cake in it or something. Oh my God, I loved it. He would always bring me all that. Wasn't that sweet? That was sweet of him. But anyway, he worked at Old Navy, but he only worked there like pick up a shift here and there, you know. Here's did I pass it already? I did. My half price books is right over there. But he would just like pick up a shift like here and there randomly, right? And he gave them my number. Now you have to remember, okay, we started dating in 90, I got sober in 94. We started dating in 95, at the end of 95, okay? We were together for 4.5 years. We ended up, I don't even think it was that long. I think it was like 4 years and a couple months. We ended up breaking up right after that. I feel like it was like the day or two after Valentine's Day, because I can remember, I would almost swear that Valentine's Day that year fell on a weekend. I'm like, Valentine's Day is like very serious for me. Like, not like I would end a relationship over it, but it's a holiday that I like to celebrate. I think, you know, it's like, I know people think it's just a Hallmark holiday and all that kind of stuff, but I like Valentine's Day. I think it's a fun, romantic day. I think it's a day to, you know, I just like Valentine's Day. I don't know. I don't have to explain it. I just like it. So anyway, I thought that was my friend Valerie, but it wasn't. So anyway, I was like, what is Valerie doing out so late at night? But anyway, so what, okay, 95 to, we dated less than 5 years, so 2000, wait, 95 to 96, 96, 97, 97, 98, 98, 99. Did we break up that close to after the year changing? Because he was really sick when we changed from 99 to 2000, because remember all that Y2K stuff? And that was when my mom and I have talked about this a lot, how my mom and I would like we talked on the phone like where it like changed in the world like every time, and I always get real emotional when I talk about like the 2 major events that happened in the world that like have most profoundly changed the direction of the world. I've talked about this a million times, and we were watching it. It was like Anderson Cooper and somebody else were like counting down like the top 100 most, or top, I don't know, 50 or top 100 or 10 or something. It wasn't 10, it was a lot more than that. It was like 50 or 100, like the most profound moments that had like affected the world in the last, you know, 2,000 years. And number 1 was the birth of Jesus Christ, and number 2 was and like I get so emotional like when I think about this, but was like the meeting of Dr. Bob and Bill W. in Akron, Ohio. And that was the beginning of a 12-step program, you know? And to think that that many people have been directly affected positively by the starting of a 12-step program, just like that I am so blessed to be part of, and I really feel like recovery is a gift that was given to me. But anyway, my ex was so sick that for that New Year's, we ended up going over to my mom's house, because we used to always do stuff for New Year's, and he was so sick he couldn't do anything. And I can remember he just laid on the couch, like my mom had this blanket over him, and she made a fire, and we just like watched the, you know, she got cheese and cut the cheese, but no, she like, you know, made it like a cheese platter, and we were just like in our pajamas. I think we got Chinese food or something, pizza, or I don't know. And just, we had like a really like low key, I was house sitting for my dad too. And so we went over there I don't know where my dad would have been, but we were house sitting, and but I do remember I went and bought like a bunch of flashlights and stuff because we didn't know. We thought like, I mean, nobody really knew. Do you remember that? Like, it wasn't like this. If you were around then and you're close to my age, like, it wasn't like this conspiracy thing, like that, like, oh, the world's gonna. I mean, there were people that were freaking out like that, but there were a lot of people that were like, we just didn't know, like, all the computer, because what they believed was that all the computers didn't have the capacity for the number 2000. So then what were the computers going to do when it turned 2000? I mean, we already knew, like, the first time zone that it changed, that wasn't going to happen. But people didn't know, right? Do you remember that? There was all like this, it was like the electricity is going to go off the grid and people aren't going to be able to travel and planes are going to fall from the earth. I mean, people really thought this stuff was going to happen. I didn't know, but I do remember that we like bought water and, you know, like had flashlights and stuff like that because we had like no clue what might happen, you know, and it was kind of scary. So anyway, I literally float from one story to another, don't I? I cannot tell a story straight and just stick to it. I was like, what is going on with me? I was watching, okay, I'm back. I was actually watching, this is what I was saying, right before it stopped. Here I am floating to another topic. I was watching Morgan Adams' video the other day where she had her brain scanned, and, because somebody had like sent this video to me and they said you should watch it, and so I did. I don't dislike Morgan Adams, like, I think her videos are kind of interesting. She reminds me of so many like young women that I know in sobriety. And I have so many friends of mine that are like 25 and they like, I'm like whenever they like, they're like, oh, you make YouTube videos? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, do you watch YouTube? And they're like, they always say, I'm obsessed with Morgan Adams. I'm just like, she is like, I'm totally her. Like, I'm like her. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. So I think she has like completely monopolized that demographic. I think a lot of people, you know, a lot of young women relate to her. So, but anyway, what was interesting in that brain scan was the doctor was telling her about these holes in her brain, and they said, he goes, this is an indication of somebody that skips around topics a lot. I was like, hello, I'm sure I have quite a few of those in my brain. But anyway, we spent New Year's at my mom's house that year, and the world did not stop, and the world did not end. Is the world ending? I don't know. And I've actually vlogged a lot longer than I said I was going to. I thought I was only going to do like 5 or 10 more minutes. I just can't stop talking is the problem, okay? So I just can't stop it at all. So then, my dad apparently used to joke with my mom and said that on her gravestone, the epitaph would read, she finally shut up, because she talked so much and she would laugh so hard. She would say, oh my God, oh my God. But she'd say, don't you dare put that on my don't you dare put that on my gravestone. And I did not put that on her gravestone. She didn't want really anything that serious on her gravestone. She didn't tell me what she wanted. She just said, I don't want a lot of stuff on it. And I put the Beatles quote, because my mom loved the Beatles so much that I don't know the quote. Some say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. That's what I put. That's the quote I put on her gravestone. But anyway, so when, and I don't know if that's the quote, but whatever the correct quote is from that song, I put on there, because that's one of my mom's favorite songs. What is the direct quote? That's Imagine, right? Anyway, whatever it's from, that's one of my mom's favorite songs. Okay. I'm not a huge Beatles fan. Isn't that funny? Like, I just talked about how I downloaded that Beatles song, but like, I'm not like a huge Beatles fan. I love the song Hey Jude, but I think it's way too long. That was actually, there was like 4 or 5 names that I almost became. It really came down to Noah and Peter at the end. But like, I was talking to somebody about this in a Cameo today, because their name was Jack. Jack was going to be one of them because my mom loved John F. Kennedy, so Jack, but my dad didn't like Jack, and he said it sounded like a dog, And then, Jude. My mom really, really liked the name Jude too, but she wanted a more of a religious name, which is why she went with Peter. And that's why she liked Noah as well. It'd be interesting if I was a Noah, don't you think? Or a Jude. Peter, Noah, Jude. Peter, Noah, Jack, or Jude. What do you think I would have been the best as? Put it in the comment section below. That will show me that you watched this far. I love the name Jack. It's one of my favorite names. And I would maybe name a dog Jack. My first boyfriend's name was Jack though, and he's passed away. I always think how funny it would have been that we were like Jack and Jack. He was so funny. He would always be like, Peter. He always drew out like all of his words. He was such a cutie. He looked like a Jack. I don't know what that means, but anyway. This Jack guy, got a cameo for his wife for her birthday. And so I was giving this guy a hard time, like in the cameo. I was kind of roasting him a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I always think of Jacks as having like really which is so funny because my boyfriend Jack had blonde hair and it was kind of like thin. And it was like longer, but like it was like longer and kind of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was very artsy. He was a painter and a photographer. But like, he did look like a Jack. I don't know how to explain that, but he did. Sometimes I thought he was a jackass, but we were friends for years after. We had a friend in common, and she was just texting me the other day, actually. So anyway, but I was saying to this guy in the cameo, I said, I always think of Jacks as having really wavy, great, thick hair and piercing eyes. So that's probably not you. But anyway, he was really nice because the cameo cut me off at like such and such. I had like done this long cameo for her, and did all this. I've been trying to do like individual stuff with the cameos. Like I did cheer. I did a cheer for cheerleading today in one of them, and then another one I was dancing. I got behind my chair and was dancing, and I've just been doing some kind of funny different stuff in them. And but anyway, he was so nice because he messaged me like right away, and he was like, oh, this is perfect and I love it and she's gonna love it and all this kind of stuff. And I said, thank you, I'm sorry that it cut off. And I said, because I was trying to record another part and send it to him, but it wouldn't let me do that. And I said, so let me film it on my camera and then like attach it, and it wouldn't let me do that. I don't know why. It would only let me attach like a picture, not a video. And so then I said, well, contact me in DMs on Instagram and I'll send you the video. And then I recorded another video, and I left. And that was when I had Burger King for dinner. It was it was so good, but it was so horrible for me. And when I got to Burger King, he had messaged me and he was like, hey, it's, Jack, blah, blah, blah. You said to DM you on Instagram. So I tried to send the video, but the video was like 1.5 minutes, and so it wouldn't let me, like the tail end, because I had like already sent the 4.5 minute cameo or whatever, and this was like the tail end of it, like the 1.5 minutes, where I was like, hey, I'm sorry I got cut off and whatever. Well, it was too long. It would only let me send it to like 1 minute, so then I had to record it, but I didn't want to do that while I was like, at the Burger King. So I was like, wait till I get home, and then I sent it to her. But he was really, really nice. He was like, you went above and beyond. I was like, oh, thank you. I love doing those. They're so much fun. I've gotten behind. I have like, you guys, if you have ordered a cameo from me and it's expired, I'm telling you, do not reorder it. I'm gonna give it to you for free. I'm like 7 behind, and a couple people have like reordered them because they expired, so they just like, it just gives you the option to reorder it, I think, and they did, which was really nice, but they didn't have to do that. If they expire, I always give one for free. I don't think I've ever not given an expired cameo for free. But I don't know how I got so behind. I've been like 1 behind before, or maybe, I don't even think I've been 2 behind before, but like 7. And it just, like, it would be like my day would go, and I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do these cameos at such and such time. And then, like, I would come home, like, the other day this happened. There was one that was due at, like, 5:04, and I came home and I looked at the clock and it was 5:07, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I missed it by, like, 3 minutes. Because they're like down to the minute. So anyway, but I have so much fun doing those Cameo things. I'm kind of surprised they haven't slowed down. Like, people have kept on ordering them. And, which is crazy, because now, you know what I'm getting? I'm getting Cameo requests from people that are like, I ordered one from you in November, or I ordered one for you for Christmas, or my birthday last year for so-and-so, and we enjoyed it so much that we wanted to get another one from you. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so nice. I have so many people, you guys, that are like, I don't care what you say, I just wanted to support you. Do you know how nice that is? That is so, so, so nice. And it's kind of fun, too, because then I can say whatever I want to say, and I just kind of do silly stuff. It's kind of really fun. The other thing is, like, I can play songs and stuff that I couldn't do, like, in a video, because it's all, you know, copywritten. But, like, on a Cameo, I can, like, play a song on the computer, and I can sing it. I've gotten some, like, requests. Like, one couple for their anniversary wanted me to sing Toto's Africa, and I didn't know the lyrics, so I pulled it up. Somebody else asked me to sing something by Fleetwood Mac. I feel like it was a couple. I've had like probably, I don't know, 5, 10 requests where I sing like lyrics of songs, and I don't always know like all the lyrics from that song or how to get started. Oh, the other day, somebody, it was her birthday, her name was Sarah, so I sang her Sarah, and I put the music on in the background, the Fleetwood Mac song Sarah. It's fun. I have a fun time doing this. So anyway, but part of the problem is too, like, I was talking to somebody, I think maybe it was even Alex. Alex is like, you get behind, babe. He was like, because you give, like, he was like, you do these super long cameos. My cameos are anywhere from like 3 to 7 minutes. He's like, you give these super long cameos. He was like, most people that do them do like 30 seconds. I was like, no, they don't. He was like, yeah, they do. He was like, they literally get on there and say, happy birthday, hope you have the greatest birthday ever, beast. He was like, you give these, like, he's like, it's nice. He was like, but that's why you're getting behind. That's why, like, that night that on Christmas Eve, or the 23rd, I had to do 37 cameos, you guys, okay? And they were each, like, between, like, 3 and 7 minutes, 3 and 6 or something. I've gone over 7, and I'm like, okay, wrap it up, Peter. So, but they're between, like, usually, like, 3 and 5 minutes, the average. But I have fun. They're fun to do. Well, how did I get on this tonight? I don't even know how I got on this topic, talking about the cameos. Jack, he asked me to something. Jack, was talking about names. Yeah, but I was kind of roasting him a little bit. He was like, I actually do have wavy hair and piercing eyes, LOL. I thought that was funny. Anyway, that was nice. People are so nice. I mean, just, you know, you can look for the nastiness in the world, or you can look for just the kindness in the world. And I have found in my life that when you look for the kindness, it is there. And by and large, most people are really genuinely good people. I really truly believe that, you know. Do I think there's a fair share of, you know, people that troll out there, or, you know, are, I feel like most people that are not nice, it's because they're not happy. And I'm not just saying that like it's a catchphrase saying, like, I really do believe that. Like, people that like become consumed and obsessed with negativity about something or someone, it's really because they're miserable in their own life, and it's a distraction from that. And they're so unwilling to take a look at the misery in their own life. And the thing that's really sad about that is, fine, I mean, become obsessed with that or whatever, you know, but at the same time, it's like with my drama channel, like, I can talk about that stuff, and then when I turn it off, I'm done. Like, I'm on to the next thing, you know, like, okay, let me set up these lights in the bedroom so I can show these lights. But I do think, and not just on YouTube, but I think just in life in general, there's a lot of people that become very, very, like, kind of consumed with negativity, and it makes me sad, honestly. And I feel like there have been times in my life that I have been there as well, definitely when I was drinking and using. And I think why it makes me sad, I mean, I've had friends of mine in sobriety that, like, are kind of like that, kind of consumed with negativity. And the thing that makes me sad is that it's not something that you can tell somebody or show them. It's like they have to kind of get it on their own. Like, I think, like, when, you know, I was negative all the time, and Alex was like, I just want you to be positive, you know, could you just, I didn't even really see how much my negativity was affecting not just the people around me, but most importantly myself. I wasn't willing to admit that or look at it, right? I'm not the one that has a problem. Y'all have a problem, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know, like, no, I'm not negative. I'm just telling truths over here. Well, sometimes we don't need all that, you know what I mean? And the reality is the person that needs it the least is the person that's spewing it. And the thing that's sad about it is life is short. Be consumed with it all you want, right? But when you're sitting on your deathbed and you look back on your life, if you're somebody that's been consumed with negativity like I have at some point, you're gonna look back on your life at some point. I mean, I'm 48 years old. I'm already looking back on my life and thinking about wasted time. Would you rather have spent your time doing something that really made you happy, joyous, and free? Or would you have rather done something that made you consumed with negativity, you know? And if you can't get unstuck, like, you don't have to tell anybody else about that. You don't have to stop what you're doing or whatever, but just maybe for 5 minutes, one day in the next month, just sit down by yourself and be honest with yourself and say, am I really happy? You know, like, does this really truly bring me happiness, or is this false happiness? My sarcastic, negative attitude towards the world, you know? I know a lot of people that are very sarcastic and their humor is very sarcastic, and mine was for a very long time, you know? It's like, I had a very sharp tongue, and what I realized was that I wasn't really happy deep down, you know what I mean? Like, and that was when, you know, like, Alex was like, please just, could you maybe be more positive or have a more positive outlook? I looked at everything as like the glass is half empty, or, you know, like, just questioning everything and being negative about everything and being full of misery. And I look back on that and I think, God, what wasted days, you know? Sad. But, I really don't know how I'm getting into any of the topics that I'm talking about tonight. This car that just pulled up behind me, I can literally hear their music from where I'm sitting. I don't know how I got into any of the topics that I was talking about. Let's go back to Jack and the names. So those were going to be the names that I was going to be called. And if I was a girl, I was going to be Daisy or Phoebe. My dad hated Phoebe. That was from The Catcher in the Rye. That was Holden Caulfield's little sister was Phoebe. And my mom loved that she represented, like, innocence in the book. And, like, wisdom and innocence. And, my dad hated it. He always said, Phoebe. So I probably would have been a Daisy. I don't really much imagine myself as a Daisy. Well, that was from The Great Gatsby. My mom loved that book, too. She also, this is really funny with 90210. My mom also really, really liked the name. Can you believe that I said I wasn't going to vlog for very long now? And you guys, I've literally vlogged for like an hour and a half total, I think. Because when I stopped, I came to my house, I was at like between 40 and 45 minutes. And then I did another half an hour, so that would have been... I'm like coming up on like an hour and a half, and I said I wasn't going to vlog for very long tonight. I always say that, and you guys comment in the comment section, it cracks me up. You're like, you said you weren't going to vlog for very long, or you'll say, Peter said he wasn't going to vlog for very long, 2 hours later. Because I love it so much. I love just talking, but anyway. And you guys listen, and it's so nice, you know. But my mom also really liked the name Dylan for me, and not because of Bob Dylan, but because of, what's the writer's name? Dylan, oh shoot, why can't I think of his name? Dylan Thomas, the poet. Is he a poet? I think that's who my mom wanted to name me after. I've thought a lot about, like, even though, like, I think now I'm thinking more about dog names as I get older, you know. I always wanted to have a Scout. So here's how Boo Radley got his name. I always wanted a Scout because I love To Kill a Mockingbird, and Scout is, like, hands down my favorite character of any book, movie, whatever, of life. I love Scout. And I love Mary Badham that played Scout. And she goes, if you've never seen Mary Badham, look her up on YouTube. She played Scout in the movie. If you've never seen the movie, go look it up. I think it's on Netflix. It's fantastic. I think they made it colorized, which I like the black and white version better. But anyway, go watch To Kill a Mockingbird, and then go listen to Mary Badham, grown up. She's now like 65 or something, and she played Scout, and go listen to her talk about To Kill a Mockingbird. She goes around to schools and places, and she lectures about To Kill a Mockingbird and Ghost Set of Watchmen. And she talks about how she met Harper Lee. She calls her Nell Harper, or Nell Lee, Miss Nell, who was a recluse. And she only saw her sister and went to church and things like that. And I think she's from Macomb, Alabama. Or is she maybe from Mississippi? I can't remember. I can't believe I love Harper Lee so much. And Harper Lee. There's a great documentary too. I think it might be on Netflix called, I just went like this. There's a great documentary called Hey Boo as well, because that's what Scout says at the very end of To Kill a Mockingbird to me. When they see Arthur Radley, who they call Boo, he comes like, he scatters against the wall because like they open the door and he's scared, and she goes, "Hey Boo." It's one of the sweetest moments ever of any movie. And like they've been afraid of him like the whole movie, and then she like gets to meet him, you know? Anyway, so I always wanted to name a dog Scout. Tanya got a dog, this golden retriever, and she ended up naming it Scout way back in the day. So then I was like, well, now I can never name a dog Scout because Tanya's already had a Scout, right? So then I was like, whatever. So I was like, well, Jim, Scout's brother, that's boring. Dill, that nobody knows who these people are. If I named a dog, you know, Dill or Jim or Dill, they'd be like, well, what? It doesn't even make any sense. So I loved Boo Radley for a dog's name, and I knew that. And he's such a Boo Radley. He's so misunderstood, the little guy, and he just kind of looks at me sometimes, and just with like, he's just so sweet and so innocent. I love that dog so much. And then Alex had always wanted to name a dog Tucker. And so that was like, we had looked at this Italian Greyhound. I would only rescue a dog now. Like we bought our dogs, Boo and Tucker. I would only rescue a dog at this point, probably. I mean, in case, except for an extreme case, I just think, you know, my cousin was in charge of the Greyhound Rescue in Indianapolis. Melissa works with like several rescue organizations. I really believe in dog rescues and other animal rescues. There's enough dogs out there that need to be placed in homes that are possibly going to be euthanized that I would rescue a dog. And you can get basically any dog that you want to get from a rescue. Did you guys see Nick and Poncho? Did anybody go watch that video that I told you guys to watch where Nick adopted a new dog and he named it Boo? I could not believe it. And it's so sweet because he trains this dog to come out from underneath the couch with hot dogs. And by the end of the video, the dog is like running around in the yard and like kissing his wife, and he's rolling around in the grass. It's so sweet, you guys. It's like it takes like 23 days or something like that before like, it's just this, like, he teaches him how to walk on a leash. He shows it all, and it's like in a 3-minute video. It's like time-lapsed to music and stuff. It's very well done. I love Nick's videos. Nick and Poncho. It's Nick and Pancho. I wonder if he's going to change the name of the channel, but I kind of hope he doesn't. I kind of hope in honor of Ponchino. Oh, little Ponchino. I loved him so much. I kind of hope in honor of Ponchino he'll leave. That's what he called him. His dog's name was Poncho, but I hope in honor of... My battery is half done. I have been vlogging, you guys. This is ridiculous. I hope in honor of Poncho. Ponchino. Because he's Italian. You know, that's how he would say it. He'd say, oh, Ponchino. No, Ponchino. It was so cute. Oh my gosh, it was so cute. That little dog. There's this one video, it's like the best video ever, where he tells him not to get on the bed. He tells him to like sleep in his dog bed on the floor. It's literally like a 2-minute video, you guys. And so he goes up there and he waits like a minute out in the hallway, and then he goes inside, and Poncho has like jumped up on the bed and he's like sleeping on his pillow, and he's like, no, Ponchino. No, Ponchino. He tells him to get in his bed, and Poncho like jumps off the bed and goes into his little dog like I think it's his little dog house. Maybe he goes inside his little dog house or his little dog bed or something. And he does it like 4 times. It's so hilarious. It's so hilarious. Anyway, he's such a, I love his videos. He like got in a bunch of drama. This is so crazy to me. He did this video and it was called something like Chihuahuas, like what happens in the snow or something. And he like acted like he was throwing Poncho. It's horrible, right? But he's acting like he's throwing Poncho, but it wasn't. It was a water bottle. And he had to come out and show like how he created the video and stuff, that it wasn't Poncho, that it was actually like this water bottle that he threw like into the snow. This was like years ago. Because so many people questioned that he threw this dog. It was supposed to be like, you know, I don't know, whatever, but he, I don't know how I came across that, where he like showed it. He like recreated, like he had the, like he like slowed it down and showed like he had like where he's like, has this, water bottle wrapped in like a towel or something. I can't remember, but it's slowed down and he shows it because people were so, he loved that dog so much. Come on, people, you know, like he's gonna throw a dog in the snow. He loved that dog. But anyway, I think that's my favorite channel of life. I love that channel so much. People always laugh at me, like other YouTubers, when I talk to them. They're like, you watch the most random stuff. You like watch all these animal videos, you know. There's like another dog who I watch. I can't remember who it is. They just make me happy. I love to watch that stuff. I love to watch the space stuff. You know what I actually found out recently? And I kind of just like, when I'm like uploading videos and stuff, I watch it. It's so interesting to me. Have you guys seen that we have these like outer space satellites? You guys are like, yeah, Peter, we've known that forever. These outer space satellites like on Mars and like the moon and all these places. And there's like live footage 24 hours a day on these channels. Did you guys know that? That you can just sit there and you can just like watch it, like outer space. It's so interesting, you guys. I just sit there and I watch it. I'm like, oh my God, this is the coolest thing. But I do look up like alien sightings and paranormal stuff, ghost sighting. They're always fake though. They're always so faked. Like the ones that have a lot of views, they're always just like made up. I like to watch the ones that are from like NASA and they're like, do you see that? And they're like looking through like the window, you know, or whatever. So anyway, yeah. That's how their dogs got their names. Little Boo Radley. Okay, so for dogs, Alex really likes to name London for a dog. He wanted to name, oh no, not London, Brooklyn. He wanted to name, I think he's past that now, but he wanted to name, if we got this Italian Greyhound that we were looking at, she was so, I think it was a she was very sweet, but she shook like that. I think Greyhound's like little shit. She was like this big, she was so sweet. And, that was when like, we actually, I don't even think there's pet stores around anymore, but she was like in a pet store and we would go in there and we looked at her and just, I don't know. The whole thing made me very sad, but, so he wanted to, we got her, name her Brooklyn. I like the name Diego for a dog. I would name my dog Jack, but it would remind me of my first boyfriend, so I'm not going to do that. But wouldn't that have been funny if my mom had named me Dylan? Then I would have been like Dylan from 90210. There's like a million Dylans now. Wouldn't that so funny? I like the name Elliot. My mom really liked T.S. Eliot. I'm kind of surprised that she didn't think about that name at all. I wonder what my name would have really been if I was a girl. I love the name Caroline for my cousin. There's not a lot of Carolines out there. I hardly ever run into a Caroline. I mean, I've met like a few, like since I started like doing YouTube videos, because there's like a few Carolines out there. There's probably one in here watching right now. But like on every day, I don't run into that many Carolines that spell it like that's not a Carolyn or something like that. You know, it's like Caroline, sweet Caroline, like that. You know, which she's heard that song 9 million times in her life. Dun dun dun, good times never feel so good. So good. So good. So good. So good. I've been inclined. Nah, nah, nah. I used to, I guess when I was little, call her Caroline. Caroline. Which is so funny because I call my friend Valerie, Valerini. Hey, Valerini. Oh, man. Speaking of which, I need to call my friend Valerini. And speaking of which, I need to get off here because I need to listen to a little bit of this book before I go to bed. It is 5 till 6, you guys. Well, I'm far enough away that I can listen to 20 minutes while I drive home and then go to bed at 6:30 in the morning. And I wonder why my schedule is so crazy. I was talking to somebody the other day that stays up late, and I was like, what time do you get up? And they're like, early, 10, 9:30, 10. I'm like, how do you, 10, between 10 and 11 or something like that. I was like, how do you get up at 10 in the morning? And they're like, well, we go to bed at like 2:30. I was like, I guess that is different. I don't go to bed at 2 or 2:30, you know. I push it till the max. Push it real good. Dun, 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 dun. Well, the other night, oh my God, now I'm so hungry for potato salad. The other night I got home and I was wide awake, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna eat a little something, maybe that'll help me go to bed. And Boo and Tucker were like, ran downstairs and I took them out and stuff. And so I sat on the, I cannot believe that I made it another 30 minutes. I thought I still had like 3 minutes. I was gonna try to wrap it up. But anyway, I sat on the couch with this container of potato salad. And do you guys ever do this? Just eat right out of the container. I do it all the time. This container of potato salad. I didn't even get water or a napkin or anything. I just, container of potato salad and these sour cream and onion Pringles, and I just sat there and I took a bunch of the Pringles out and laid them next to the potato salad. I ate it. It was so good. Was that last night? I think that was last night. It was so good. So anyway, okay, I'm gonna get off here now so that when I come to the next intersection, when I get to the next intersection, I can turn and go home and listen to my audiobook. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday. Thank you for listening. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And like my friend Stephanie says, I'm going to say a quick goodbye. So I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Put some peace and hope and harmony out there in the world. Oh, I like that. Peace, hope, and harmony. Put peace, hope, and harmony and grace out there in the world. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, like I also always say, I just cannot just sign off. It never is this easy. Like I also always say, practice random acts of kindness, but like I also always say, don't tell anyone. Most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. Do one random act of kindness today, but don't tell anyone, okay? Like I also always say. Now, see, the battery is about to die. It's flashing in my face. I can't believe I've gone through 2 whole batteries tonight. What is wrong? Most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody, just one person today, and let them know how much they mean to you. Make their day. Say, I just want you to really have a great day, and I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday unless you have other plans, but make the most of your day today. Do something fun, do something exciting, get prepared for the week ahead, get refreshed, get rejuvenated, take a nap, get reborn, I don't know, rejuvenated, get refreshed, get rested, re-rested, get re-rested, I don't know what I'm looking for, the word I'm looking for. See here, I've turned and I haven't even listened to my audiobook yet. I want to feel alive. Get alive. It doesn't matter. Anyway, get rejuvenated, get refreshed, get repaired. Prepared for the week ahead. There you go. And, yeah. Reignited. Get reignited for the week ahead. Okay, I'll put your word down there below that you're gonna do. And yeah, and then let's put some, most importantly, or not most importantly, but like it says in the 4 agreements, always lead with love. And let's put some love, kindness, compassion, understanding, forgiveness, tolerance, hope, peace, love, serenity, harmony, and grace out there into the world. And I just keep on adding to that list, and that's okay, because those are all great things, right? The most important of which is love. And I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! I had to come on here for one last thing, and no, it's not to say, one more I love you, but that too. But I'm listening to my book, Saint X, and one of the words that she says in there is recover. So spend tomorrow recovering as well. I don't know how I forgot that word. Out of all the words in the world that start with R-E, I don't know how I forgot the word recover and recovery since I'm in recovery. Anyway, I thought that was funny, and I had to come back on here and say it to everybody. So anyway, to say it to all of you. Anyway, I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!